Hello, music lovers and conversationalists. Welcome to the channel and welcome to another exciting installment of Friday Firsts. Today, I'm excited to share with you an artist who I've seen a handful of times prior to the pandemic and all the craziness that came with it. And most recently, got to see him for the first time after the pandemic. And I was happy to see him do kind of a different set than what I was used to seeing him with the electric guitar and whatnot. This time he played an acoustic set with his acoustic guitar and dobro on hand, and he was playing at the Center for the Arts in Natick, Massachusetts, or as more people affectionately call it, TCAN. And what this building was originally, it was a old firehouse, and the people that run the Center for the Arts in Natick now transformed it into a, I'd say 150 to 250, or 150 to 200 seat venue for live music. And I got to see the great Tinsley Ellis there on stage by himself, telling stories of his musical career and life in general. And one of the stories he told was getting to meet B.B. King for the first time and how nice of a guy he thought he was. And he said, well, all blues musicians must be nice people. And when he had the chance to meet Howlin' Wolf one time, he said, as I got closer and closer to him, he seemed bigger and scarier, and I decided to go get a Coke instead. So I meant to ask him if he ever got a chance to meet Howlin' Wolf after that, but still a good story. And he also said when he was playing for the Allman Brothers, he said that Greg Allman kept calling him Ellis Tinsley, and he said, of course, I never corrected him. So those are two stories that come to mind. The show was excellent. He played several great blues tunes from different legendary artists. I have my notes here. Cut You Loose, When I Howl, the classic Buddy Guy and Junior Wells tune, Early in the Morning. And I do have the most current album here before I show the debut album. This is his most current one, called Devil May Care. It was released in 2022, late January of 2022, and I remember Eric Gales and him released albums back-to-back weeks, so it was quite a way to kick off the 2022 musical year with some great albums from fantastic musicians. Great color schemes, I think, for this album cover. Again, here's the front. And this is just a stellar album from beginning to end. And a couple of the songs that he played off of this, and they sounded great on the acoustic guitar, were One Last Ride. And that's an edge of your seat thrill ride, if there ever was one. And the other one he did was 28 Days, which is just a great gritty blues tune. And another couple of tunes he did do, a Greg Allman tune, Multicolored Lady, and some other well-known songs that he did for the acoustic set were the Blind Lemon Jefferson tune, the song I Can't Keep From Crying. Of course, he did a Howlin' Wolf tune, the Little Red Rooster, and he closed it out with Death Letter Blues by Son House. So it was really cool to see the acoustic side of Tinsley Ellis. And if you ever get a chance to see him live in your area, please do so. He's an excellent musician and a nice guy, and he takes the time to talk to his fans and sign records and CDs, and also get do a photo op with you. And it really goes a long way when a musician does that with their fans, I think. So on with the main show tonight. we have the debut album of Tinsley Ellis, and it's when he was with his band, the Heartfixers. And this is featuring the legendary harp player from Chicago, Bob Nelson, who was originally from Louisiana. And little interesting fact about Chicago Bob is when they got together to record this album, and I'll take this out of the sleeve so the glare isn't too bad. Chicago Bob had already established his career as a in-demand harmonica player, and recorded, played with such legends who were seeking him to join their band. He played with Howlin' Wolf, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Earl Huckler, and Muddy Waters. So some big heavy hitters were seeking out his skills and talent on the harp. He credits some big names for influencing him, and some of those musicians were Harpo Lester, Jimmy Reed, and the legendary Sonny Boy Williams II. And real quick, I'll show you what the album looks like before we get into some of the condition of the album, and I'll show that real quick before we get into artists that released albums in 1982 alongside of the Heartfixers. This is a pretty clean album. Try not to get the glare there, but you can see how nice of a shape this is in, and that's actually a good angle, but it sounds phenomenal. I try not to play it as often as I like, just to preserve it, and I have seen some online videos, if you will, or songs, I should say, of the album. So fortunately, someone was kind enough to upload the albums online. So on with the show, we have, as I said, a couple of albums that were released in 1982 to go along with this particular record, or challenge this record, as I like to say. The challengers are starting off with Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band. They had Ice Cream for Crow, which was released in September of '82. Whitesnake released Saints and Sinners in let's see, that was 11/15 of '82. Trying to read my own handwriting here, and as you can see, it looks like chicken scratches. So if I'm stumbling over my words, it's because I can't read my words. And then in September of '82, in addition to the Heartfixers debut, we had Gary Moore releasing his album Corridors of Power, and then in September of '82 we had November of '82 we had Zeppelin releasing Coda. So some big names in the rock and roll, blues scene, music scene in general. We had some pretty big albums coming out, and sounds like it was still a pretty good year overall for music from what I was doing my research. And now, without any further delay, it's time for the runners-up on the albums. And again, this was such a great album. It's chock full of classic blues numbers. The band sounds tight. They were red hot on so many tunes. And when I was talking to Tinsley about it, I said, I should have brought the album with me to have you sign it and date it for the date of the show that I saw him at recently, which was, I think it was that, looking at the calendar right now, I think it was the 17th that I saw him. So a week ago, this past Thursday. And he told me that the album cost about $100 to make, and they recorded it in one night. And when you listen to it, you can definitely tell that the band was firing on all cylinders and just really coming into their own, and had a great sound that night. And I'll try to put some links below of the songs that were my favorites. I think they were all available, but I'll see what I can do and getting the links on there for you to have a listen to. But for the runners-up, this first one coming at number 3 is a pure blues barn burner. It's has both Chicago Bob and the band were just really on top of their game on this one, and it's a song called Red Dress, and they just really took it to the next level when they were recording this one. Coming in at number 2 is a tribute song, instrumental tribute song to be exact, to Clarence Gatemouth Brown, and it is called Gates Mouth. This is and I always like putting in, whether it's a runner-up or a favorite in the top 3 favorites, or whatever the case may be, for instrumentals, because I think when you listen to instrumentals, you really get to hear how the band sounds together and get a feel for what they would sound like in person. So that's why I picked Gates Mouth, tribute to a toe tapping tribute to the late great Clarence Gatemouth Brown, is number 2 for the runner-up, and the number 1 song for the runners-up category is Rockin' Jones, and I picked this one because it really does a nice job on featuring the picking skills of Tinsley Ellis himself. Tinsley was just dynamite on this song, and I think it would be really cool if Tinsley himself did tribute to this album, if you will, kind of did a re-recording of it, and brought some of these songs back, and maybe who's ever still, hopefully they're all still alive. I know Chicago Bob passed, but hopefully the other members are still with us, and he can get the old band back together, so to speak, and maybe put another album together, or re-record this one, or do something special for an anniversary date. But it's just thinking off the top of my head. And now for the runners-up, we finished those. So now for the 3 favorites. I have some songs that I think everybody who's a fan of blues or blues rock will know the names of the songs. They sometimes I know, like, I'll know the names of the songs, and I'll be, how does that go? And it would be something that I hadn't heard in a while, but I'm thinking everybody will know these 3, or at least has heard of them. And the first one is this one here. Chicago Bob is just on fire on the harp in this one. It's a 1961 classic that was done by the legendary Freddie King, and it is I Love a Woman, and they just really owned this song. Everybody was having, you could tell, was having a good time recording this classic blues tune, and I thought it was appropriate to have it come in at least number 3. Maybe it could have been higher, but the other 2 voted it out. So the next one is one that I'm sure, because of who is responsible for making this song famous, and that is the late legendary King of the Blues, B.B. King. And I'm talking about the song You Upsets Me Baby. And if anyone is watching has seen B.B. King, you most likely have heard him sing this at one point during the set. Just a great number. The band does such a stellar job on this song, I had to pick it for the top 3. And coming in at number 1, this one here is one that I think everybody has heard the name of. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan has done this one, and I can't remember who else, but it is the song written by the great Guitar Slim, and I'm of course talking about the song "Things That I Used to Do." And I think the band Indigenous, on their debut album, or one of their early albums from the early 2000s, did um, a inspirational version of this, if you will. They changed it up a bit and called it things that we used to do, or something similar to that. But things that I used to do, I think, should be on anyone's blues or blues rock playlist. It's just such a classic blues tune. And a little interesting fact about this, when I was reading up on it, I believe it was on the might be on the back cover here, but I won't waste anyone's time. Um, this was originally recorded and produced in New Orleans, and arranged by another legend in the music world, Ray Charles. So um, there's a lot of legends connected to these songs, and the album in general. And it's, again, a great album to have in your collection. If you ever see this in the wild, or you can still find a copy of this on Discogs, which is what I did. Pick up a copy of the Heartfixers, featuring Chicago Bob Nelson and young Tinsley Ellis here with the I don't know if you can see it, but he's got the Elvis like sideburns going on, or Conway Twitty like sideburns, if you will, looking very cool. And I was really excited to share my thoughts on this one, kind of do a concert review slash Friday Firsts installment for this episode. So thank you all so much for watching and staying with me to the end. I know I can ramble on too much sometimes, and I do appreciate you all watching my videos and commenting on them. Your comments are what keeps me going, and I'm just proud to be a part of a good online community with the vinyl community. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend, and you're all staying happy and healthy wherever you are. Take care. Bye-bye.